Hey, welcome everybody to another awesome episode of Tech Tip Tuesday. Now, I had to throw that superlative in there because Tuesday is an amazing day of the week, and Tech Tip Tuesday is even more amazing, so it's awesome. My name's Ken Close. I'll be your host, and my background is I'm an engineer. I'm a lover of the Healy technology. Been here since the beginning of time. Oh, well, beginning of Healy. Um, which is the beginning of time, I think, in most cases. And I'm super happy to be able to bring Tech Tip Tuesday to you guys. And I'm joined by a couple of awesome guys. We've got Jake Barron, head of operations in Orlando. Jake, greetings. Howdy.
Hello, Ken. Good afternoon, or morning, or evening, or whatever the case may be, everyone.
Wherever you are, whenever it is. Thanks for being here. Super appreciate that. And we also have our head of the onboarding, Healy onboarding. It's Henry Pena. He created this onboarding thing. If you guys haven't seen Henry or visited that onboarding sessions, you got to get a hold of him. So welcome, Henry. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, Ken. Happy to be here. Welcome, everybody.
Awesome. Well, let's get everybody on the spotlight here. There we go. So those of you who are brand new to Tech Tip Tuesday, well, first of all, I want to say welcome. Thanks for being here. And secondly, I wanted to have you all that's been here before go invite somebody. Tell them to get over here and join us today right away. There's the invite link. There's lots of ways to get them here. But let's just go a little bit over kind of what we do here. This is a chat-based forum, so everybody puts their awesome questions in the chat, and then myself and Jake and Henry and sometimes the audience, we kind of open those questions up, answer them, investigate them, dive deep into them in many cases, to make sure that you guys are as informed as well as possible. So what we talk about here is everything around the tech, everything around the apps, the theory of operation, the program groups, the applications. Now with the new HighWave, we've got some cool things to talk about there. If you guys have questions, so there's all the cool stuff we can talk about. What we don't talk about is we don't talk about how to diagnose, treat, prevent, or mitigate any diseases, disorders, specific things and conditions like that. That's not what we are here to do. We are techie peeps, not doctors. So we want to make sure and give you guys the right information from our expertise. So if that makes sense to everybody, and if you have any questions about that, definitely put them in the chat. But let's get started. How about that, guys? You ready?
Okay.
Ready, let's
All right.
go.
All right, guys. Well, hey, audience out there. I know you guys have had some fun things this week, right? It's only Tuesday, I know, but let's go from the last time we were together. But you probably have encountered some fun things with your Healy. Maybe you've been exploring a couple things about, well, I wonder if, right? Well, let's bring those wonder ifs in here and let's chat about those as well.
Absolutely. Or we will pick our own topics.
That's
You
right.
know, we've definitely been known to do that, right, guys? All right. Well, so let's go with maybe since last week. I mean, there were some things that I think were left on the table a bit last week. But there was a couple of participants that were really good. And of course, whenever we hit we answer a question, sometimes that opens up more questions. So that's good too. Jenna's asking a question here, guys. What's the best way to use the natural cycle? This is a great question. The natural cycle was designed originally to interface with your circadian rhythm wherever you are in the world, right? And this was kind of the idea where the concept is there are things that are within our rhythm on this planet that happen naturally. Every organ in your body turns on and off, and based on certain times in which you're in your demographic. so natural cycle was designed, excuse me, designed to support that. You guys want to chime in while I get a drink of water?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Jan, thank you so much for the question. One of the things to keep in mind is that the natural cycle is basically, at least the natural cycle module is basically a tool that is designed to simplify everything that happens in the background in order for the natural cycle model to determine what are the best programs based on your own natural rhythm, and also the type of organ that is activated, the organ that is activated during that specific time of the day. So all of this has to do with the moon cycle, the seasons of the year. However, you don't really need to worry about any of this. Again, there is a lot of theory, and in a few moments, I just need to look for it. I'll be happy to share a link that basically explains everything that happens in the background. It's a really nice video presentation that you can watch that explains everything that's going on behind the scenes when it comes to the natural cycle. But in reality, when it comes to using the natural cycle module, if you do have access to it, it really is as simple as just waiting for the trigger day to happen when the Healy Advisor app lets you know, and then just following the instructions, which really is just a matter of running the two programs that it will ask you to do, and then drink some water, and that pretty much summarizes it. The app, the module is designed so you don't have to really think that much in order to use it. It's doing everything for you at that point. I don't know if you have anything else to add, Jake.
Well, I think no, it's a unique module as far as it tells you and guides you through the whole process. So the best way to use it is to do what it says, really. When it says to do it, because those programs are meant to be run at a specific time as well, and it's important to follow the whole process as far as drinking water before the session, after the session, that kind of thing too. And actually, I actually was just curious when the next trigger date is. So I opened my natural cycle module here, and I see mine says starting today, actually. So, Jane, is that why you're asking the best way to use it?
Yeah.
Because it looks like there is a date here as well coming up. But
So another thing to think. Okay, so as Jenna says, so step one, go to the advisor. Yes. So step one, everybody, you would go to your natural cycle advisor. It's in the Heal Advisor search app. Okay, that's the one with the little wiggly lines right behind me here. So you go there, and that's where basically you're starting, what hemisphere you're in, time zone, that kind of thing. And that's because that's what triggers the app or the programs to, or I should say, the Heal Advisor itself to interface with the programs that it's going to want you to do. There's two program groups within the pink app, or Healy 2, right? That one of them is all the meridians. It's all your organs, and they go on and off like Christmas lights, based on the time of day. And the interesting thing about that, guys, is that there may be an optimization time for an organ at one end of the clock. At the opposite end of the clock, there's another equal and opposite interface. And so it's pretty cool how that works, that integration between on and off, which kind of correlates to the consumption and rest cycles that we're going through with these bodies. There's always a build, a building up, and a tearing down, constant cycle there. So then also the second program group in there is essentially just basically two programs in there that are just about the stabilization daily and the solar. So it's just, you'll be told.
yeah, I don't know if you can. Oh, hold on a second here. I'll just say I wasn't going to actually share the screen, but sorry, I was just switching something here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see, like, there's on the screen here too. This is kind of what it, when it looks like when you first started. You see there's 30 minutes before the session, you drink the glass of water, and then 15 minutes before, drink another glass of water. Then you have the actual program here that you're running too. That's the one with the organ clock, basically. That was between 7 to 9 p.m. To run that particular program. And then you follow that up with that glass of water, and then finally the stabilization daily program that you run at the end. after that session is basically complete to finish that session until the next day.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, 8-ounce glasses. Um, you know, the idea is to get your body hydrated. And I'll tell you something about humans. I believe that's like one of their biggest struggles is just to maintain hydration, proper hydration. There's a lot of you know, like for instance, what's advertised out there? Um, Exercise, proper diet, but not a lot of it should be another component called hydration. Should be that one, should be a big one in terms of natural things to market when it comes to being healthy. And then how much? What's proper hydration? And so half your body weight in ounces of water every day. Yep, is the typical equation. The natural cycle is just triggering you, just saying, hey, here's what we should do about this time, get you started, a little kickstart, right? So so yeah, 8 ounces, and that's preparing when you drink a little bit now, a little bit later. There's actually another equation to the half your body weight in ounces of water that has to do with how much per hour, right? So but again, just try to. I always tell everyone that within your waking state, if you get up at 6 a.m. and go to bed at 10, fine, that's your waking state. Okay. So try to consume that half your body weight in ounces of water evenly over that waking state. Start to back it off a little towards the end of the day, but try to get that in for you. Okay. Let's see.
The other question that Jana asked was that why some of them seem to be in Chinese. And I was just explaining that remember that the natural cycle has to do with the meridians. That's why it's all depending on which organ is activated, which has once again a lot to do with meridians. And let's remember that the meridians are part of traditional Chinese medicine. So this is why a lot of these programs will have symbols in Mandarin.
Mm-hmm.
Now the app should be in English though. Just make sure, like I just want to make sure, Jana, that the whole app, the interface is actually in English. If that is the case and you see that the programs are in Chinese, then that's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you open
and
one.
for more details on those particular programs, you can also go to the Healy app manual. There's a section on Natural Cycle 2 that explains those different programs as well, the different time ranges, also as far as the matching that up with the organ clock.
So yes, in the app. So she asked too, is there ways to set reminders and alarms and such in your time? In the app, it really is a complete system. And when you start that, it's going to ask you to set reminders. Well, it'll have a little tab, set reminders, and you go in there and you can set those reminders. You can turn them on or off by a little check mark next to them, and you'll get these reminders about water and you know what program to run, all that kind of stuff. Even that stabilization, as Jake mentioned, that stabilization program at the end of the day or whenever it is, you click on that and then it will set those reminders.
Yeah, so if you go to the top left there's an edit reminders. Maybe it's kind of blurry right now, but there's an edit reminders there. So if you click on that, as Ken mentioned, you can check it on and off for the glasses of water and the different programs as well too. So you just, if you want reminders for the programs but not the water, you just, check or just, I need a reminder for the water before, but not after, because I've already done it. You can just kind of customize it like that. So.
Yep, exactly. So the other, I mean, that's super cool, right? And then when you set those reminders, now remember, you've got to have your phone allowing reminders on that app, right? When you set those reminders, so make sure that your phone's not blocking any of those. So go to in your phone, you can go to those apps. You can set all the parameters around the apps, turn on reminders. If you have them on for anything within the app, it's going to be on for all of it. So you're in the app is where you signify the exact things to be turned on and off. Okay. Great question though. I mean, I love that subject. It doesn't seem to get talked about a lot. I mean, we get a lot of questions about other stuff, but the natural cycle seems to be one that gets stimulated when when that cycle comes for somebody, right?
Yeah, and then if as I mentioned just a little bit ago, if you go to the actual Healy app manual, which you see here, you can see my screen, right? We're good.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So, for example, in the app itself, it said run the program. It's the Chinese character, but between 7 and 9 p.m. So if you come to the Healy app manual, that translates to the 1900 to 2100 hours here, 7 to 9 p.m. And you'll see it's the pericardium meridian, and tells you a little bit about it. Also, as far as supporting the microcirculation of the qi throughout the body's vascular system. So again, there's really cool descriptions for each of these different programs as well throughout. So
yeah. So when you guys are setting up your natural cycle from the Heal Advisor search app, it's going to ask you your time zone and your hemisphere. So you put that content in there, and then calculate your start date. Once it calculates that, and it might be today, like Jake said his was today, right? Well, whatever that start date is,
yeah,
that's where you start building the parameters. It sets the start date for you, and then you set all your reminders, and then once those reminders are set, right, you're kind of done. If today is your start date, then it's gonna tell you what to do and a time to do so. So do what it's asking you to do in those time frames. And if it's not telling you to start the activation program, don't start it. Do in sequence based on the time.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So Deb's got a question about the HighWave, guys. About the HighWave, one, understand the two metal plates ought to be placed on the skin. What if one perspire while using it? Will that cause any problems? And no, it actually increases and improves the conduction, right? Your body's natural perspiration. In fact, when you put the wristbands on and you're wearing them for a little while, it doesn't take long. When you cover the skin with something that is airproof, that does not transmit through, something that's a barrier. When you do that, the natural moisture, your body's excreting all the time, and that's moisture, right? It's in the form of sweat, and when you cover that, you'll notice it builds up under there. This is the reason why, I don't know, a couple episodes back, we talked about cleaning these wristbands, okay? Because you wear them over and over again, they collect saline, they collect salts and stuff and minerals on the backside, and they get a little white, kind of milky. Yeah, that causes problems. So anytime you place something over your skin, perspiration is going to start to naturally express. And that's a good thing, because that increases conductivity when you're trying to do some sort of a energetic reading, right? Like that. So yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's okay. Don't soak the device because your Healy's on there, right? I don't recommend, if you're sweating profusely, and you've got drips coming off your hands, maybe you might want to tone that down a little bit. But but just don't saturate your Healy. The HighWave, you're not going to really hurt that, right? But the Healy is attached to it, so you don't want that guy wet. Anything you want to add to that, guys?
No, I think it would be, I feel like it would really be like a drastic case of a lot of sweating for that to reach that point, because at that point the Healy wouldn't even be touching the skin per se, it would be directly with the HighWave. So I think it should be all right, as Ken said, as long as it's not like a lot of sweat, it should be it should be all right.
Hey, we don't know about those extremes sometimes, and if that's that case, you better be drinking just as fast as it's going out.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't have any sort of waterproof rating or anything like that, too. Just, of course, your normal day-to-day type thing, walking around in the sun for a little bit here and there, is not shouldn't be a big issue. So,
Yeah. Yeah, but don't put it, as Ken said, don't put it in water.
Yeah, yeah. Do
Don't
not
don't get in the
submerge.
pool.
Yeah,
Don't get in the pool
don't
with it.
clean it like you clean the wristband electrodes.
No, don't submerge. The idea is to not submerge. You can wipe things off, with a moist towel, wet rag, but
Mhm.
don't submerge. You shouldn't have standing water on it. Shake it off if you get it moist or wet, dry it off. Still, it's your Healy that's the most sensitive. Uh, you want to protect that. All right, and believe me, guys, I was just like last week. I was out working and wearing my Healy, and I'm just like in the hot sun. I'm just sweating like crazy, drinking a lot of water, right? And my shirt's all wet, and I wear my Healy just like that. But sometimes I'll tuck it inside my shirt. When my shirt's all wet and it's tucked inside, I'm like, uh-oh, I better get this guy outside. But yeah, it's not like a delicate flower, but it's not a hardy machine either. So we just be mindful. All right, so let's see. Jenna's asking additional piece. What results have y'all personally received when using the HighWave? Well, I don't have one yet. Hint, hint. No. But Jake, you've been testing it, right?
Yeah, I have it. I actually have not used it a ton. I used it, I would say, 6, 7 times so far, using the cell wave and mind wave programs too, which in general are they're newer things, and they're as really um, as kind of mentioned, it's not necessarily like a feeling like with the wristband electrodes where you put it on and some people feel tingling and that kind of thing. This is a very the 5 megahertz carrier wave allows things to just easily flow through the body evenly throughout um, in reaching all the cells throughout the body too. So it's kind of a very effective but sort of gentle sort of a experience too. It's a much easier for those frequencies to make their way through the body when they're attached to that 5 megahertz carrier wave, or actually 4.97 or whatever it was actually is. But
4.97.
yeah.
Real
There's
close.
actually there's a newer video on it's actually on the Healy Shop page. There's a short video with Marcus Schmika um,
Mhm.
as well when you first go to that page. So if you go, let me share my screen again.
I think that should have been embedded in an email that went out
Yeah,
recently.
I think it may have, but yeah. Also, if you go to the product page and then HighWave, go here. It says Discover Healy HighWave with Marcus Schmika, and then you click on this, and then it takes you right to this little video with Marcus. I think it's about 2 minutes long, and he kind of explains a little bit more about it too. He does a great, as he always does, way of explaining the science behind the technology behind HighWave. So
Yeah, I recommend that video. I've watched it a couple of times. It is good. It's a good video. So
yeah,
take a look. If you just kind of just have no clue about the HighWave, he'll give you a good indication.
yeah,
I think that's a good one for a good baseline. And I mean, I've got the Obsidian, so the cool thing is I do have the HighWave programs,
yeah.
and so I would probably say I have used in the years that I've been with Healy probably every single the 300 plus programs. I think I probably have tried them on my body, right? And there are some that I use routinely, always, right? And I may or may not. I won't commit to using more than what's recommended sometimes, but anywho, um, I, I use a lot of these programs. My body's acclimated to many, and in testing out these new HighWave programs, there is a sensation. But again, remember when you don't do something, when I haven't done something and I'm using the wristbands, the body doesn't know, and you'll be hypersensitive. And so when we're using those programs for the first time, sometimes you get a bigger sensation. But they are different programs within the HighWave pages. Um, those programs within CellWave and MindWave, those are the two program groups. And yeah, they have different purposes. I can't wait to try one with the actual mind or the actual HighWave.
Yeah, yeah. And I actually haven't even really explored yet running the regular Healy IMF programs with HighWave too, because that's another great thing. It's, you know, you're not limited to just using it with those cell wave and mind wave. It kind of opens up the most of the other Healy programs to be able to use it along with HighWave also.
Yeah, remember you're doing this on a different carrier. So whether you have used all your programs with the coil or all your programs with the wristbands, now we add a third delivery model within the Pink app, and that's depends on your sensitivity. You may be completely euphoric, or be one, those early responders or sensitive responders. Just pay attention. The most important thing that I always recommend to my clients and customers is that pay attention to your body. Be aware. I can't guide you very well when you don't know what's happening, and you're not paying attention to that. We get really caught up in just having someone else say things that, tell me what's going on with me. Well, I need your participation, right? So, all right. Deb's asking, is there a protocol for cell wave and mind wave programs, or what sequence of programs to use? Now, remember, as you start to do your analysis, right, these programs are in the analysis. So when it pertains to you, they're going to show up. So that's a great protocol to find out which ones.
Yeah, but yeah, there's not a certain programs like Power 3 or program groups kind of have this, okay, run this in this order or this many days, or biogenic vitalization, that kind of thing too, some of the different protocols. But for this, there's not like, okay, there's this many cell wave programs, run this for a week, and then this one for a week, and that one for a week. It's more, as Ken mentioned, you can utilize the Analyse app, the resonance feature, search that database for that program group if you want to specifically find what one might be best for you on this particular at this particular moment.
Exactly. All right. Let's see. So, and remember that when you do a Heal Advisor Analyze analysis, right, you've got the resonance analysis, which you can go in there and you can pick all Healy programs, or you can pick a specific subcategory from that, one of the program groups. So if you've got you've got the HighWave, then you could choose that, and it will allow you to do an analysis based on those, either the cell wave or the mind wave, right? But you can pick that group specifically. If you've got that, if you have that that device and you have those programs, then you can do that, and then you'll know, right? That's a pretty. One thing I believe is too is like, okay, let's say that we read the instructions. We read the instructions, and here's the recommendations. What do you do first? You read the instructions, and then you edit. People will read the instructions and then they use their own mind, like, well, I'm going to do it this way. Or, well, I don't understand at all. You reread them, and you ask questions, and you finally get an understanding, and then you still do it your way, right? So the cool thing about the Heal Advisor Analyze system is it's objective. It's not really your way. It's just the quantum way. So you can pretty much get a guarantee that, it's the right order without your edits. All right, what else, guys? Let's see. So Laura's asking us a question. Will be exciting to see all our experiences going on as we all start the new journey with the HighWaves. That's a absolutely. And you know what? Here's the fun, even more fun part about that is that when you broadcast that information, so in other words, we can have an experience and it could be amazing and great and keep it to ourselves. right? And then who benefits? Well, we do, sure. And then you're better in your world and your life, and maybe others benefit. But when you say, oh my gosh, who out there has ever gone to an amazing movie or had a great meal at an incredible restaurant and then told nobody? Right?
Oh, if you want to keep the restaurant a secret, maybe you don't tell anybody.
Maybe you don't want to get it too busy, like, hey, it was my restaurant. I don't want everybody coming. but most of the time we broadcast that, right? We tell everybody, it's like, oh my gosh, Henry, guess what? I had this incredible time at this restaurant, man. You got to go. Or you go like this, Henry, let's get together and let's go to this restaurant, right? And then all of a sudden you want to share it in another way, right? And it's like, hey, Henry, call Jake. Let's go. We're going to do this. But that's kind of how we do it. We're, as humans, we tend to share things that we love, right? Okay.
And we are very close to having inventory fully stocked in the warehouse. It's been a struggle since HighWave launched. Super high demand, very popular globally, not just in the U.S., other markets too. Sold out very quick, completely out of stock, and we've been getting manufacturing facilities been running 2 shifts a day to try to keep up with the demand also. And we actually have some in the US right now. They're actually in the process of being cleared at customs. So they should be arriving at the warehouse in the next couple of days. And then we have another shipment that's also leaving this week from Germany also that should arrive first part of next week. And then once, so I'm pretty sure assuming we can't control how quickly things clear customs, but in general, by the end of next week, we should be finally in a spot where we have all pending orders been fulfilled, and also we have inventory in the warehouse for any new orders coming in too. It's where there's not a several week delay, but yes, but they are selling quick, and after this next shipment, our next batch isn't going to arrive actually till the middle of September too. So, we'll of course adjust the shipping message in the shop accordingly as the inventory, as we go through it, and if we need to as well change that message to later in August if we do sell out again too, which is probably very likely. So.
Well, you know what? I remember the Healy clearing customs and getting here, and that was during a time of restrictions around what was being shipped because space on the various ships and planes and whatever was limited. So we're I think we're in a better shape there, but still, like Jake said, well, anybody can't control how things clear customs except customs. So
Sure.
no matter who you are. All right. So Jenna's got a commission question here. So this is a business side. We don't get a lot into those, but okay. I'm trying to kind of understand the question here. Because within Healy, there is, like most things that are commissionable sales, you've got your direct sales. Whenever you sell a device, there is a commission structure for that, right? And it varies based on the amount of volume in that month that you've accumulated. But there's a minimum commission on every qualifying sale that you make. What's a qualifying sale? It is a device, or it's in the compensation plan as to what a qualifying sale means. And then there's an overall volume kind of structure. So that's a bit of a more of a complex description, but it is in the comp plan.
So really, you don't need to. You need some sort of activity, but it doesn't need to be a purchase of elements in order to get the commission. So if you go to your back office and download the compensation plan, the most recent one, up-to-date one is there right now. But if you go there, and I can just share this while we're on the call. So I guess I should click this. Okay. So this is the the last page here, last section, where it's kind of the summary of everything too. But the section that you're referring to, depending on which rank, team manager section, director section, VP section, president section, you need either personal sales volume or you need 3 months rolling device points. So what that means is basically, depending on the rank, again, 35 PSV or 1 RDP. So if you sell a Healy device, that kind of thing, that counts as the RDP for a 3-month period. Or if you have PSV as well, some of our, of course, elements would qualify. Yes, if you were to buy a monthly supply of elements, that would qualify you at these ranks here. But as you move up, the requirements change a little bit more. But in general, you see, no matter which rank, if you have 1 RDP, you're good for that 3-month period too. And it'll show you when you log into your back office and you go to your performance widget on that main screen there, it'll tell you if you've met one of those requirements, either PSV or RDP. If you haven't, it'll tell you what you still need to hit that requirement.
So stay on that screen for a second, Jake. So to gain your commission, right, from sales, from your own sales to other folks, you don't have to be any of those ranks. All right. You get a minimum. So you get a minimum commission on every qualifying sale that you, device sale that you do. The next tier up, you got to qualify. You want to start to say, make commissions on volume done from your team efforts. That's where you start having these qualification criteria. That's not, it's not only PSV or RDP, it's also, volume within your organization. So there's that's all lined out right there, right? So people can learn this and get those qualifications. And as Jake said, I love that widget, by the way, you guys, because it gives you the, like, if you're really close, right, to one of those qualifications and move to the next level, he's like, oh man, I get super motivated, to get going. All right. So so there you go. Yeah, jump in there, Jenna, and check it out. I always tell folks on my team and the people I work with is like, okay, spend like 30 minutes a day, navigating your back office, learning about your downloads, because there's new stuff all the time. Every time I go in there, I'm like, oh, because it actually, there's a little icon that sometimes tells new. It's like, okay. And it stays new for a while. So anyway, you click on that and, go, wow, there's something new right there. But anyway, hopefully that makes sense. Navigate for about 30 minutes a day to spend some time and take the weekends off so you're not brain fried. All right. So Kim, welcome. How you doing? Thanks for your question. Here we go. Which Blue app am I supposed to be using? I've not been able to get Mom's Healy Blue app to analyze. I was only able to get her Pink app to work because the Blue app was stuck on demo mode. Oh, this is a good point here. And I couldn't turn it off. However, today I was able to get her Blue app working. Okay, so it says what I say.
I believe Kim basically wants to know which of the, and I think here's where your background is gonna come very useful, Ken, your background screen to show which app is the one that we need, because I see that they're confused between the old version of the Healy Analyse 2 app and the old version of the Healy Analyse app and the new one that has a number 2 in it. So yeah, you can see both versions right there. That one's a no. The one that Ken is pointing out, no.
That's a no. That's a no. And that is a no. So I want to I keep that picture up there because we have these every now and then. But this is a yes, and this is a yes. Okay. So if your picture doesn't look like this one right here, if it doesn't look like this, then that's the wrong app. And this is really common. Right, Henry? Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. So I did see that Kim did us a favor of being very specific. So yes, the one with the gray round icon, that is the one that you don't want to have. You want to have the one that has the pink waves at the bottom and the one with the blue waves at the bottom. And if you want to download the third app that we have, which I definitely recommend that you do because that's the one we were talking about earlier, the search module, the natural cycle module, is that one that Ken is pointing out right now. That white one with the three lines.
Right there, right there, right there. Yep, that one right there. So those
And
big three right there.
And then Kim, I noticed too that you were having trouble with the demo mode. It really you are able to log out of the demo mode if your app is in demo mode. You're able to log out very easily by going to the settings of the app and then going to the account and then logging out. If you're having trouble finding that option for any reason, remember that you're also welcome to reinstall the app. You delete the app from the phone, you reinstall it, you download it again from the App Store or the Play Store, depending on the type of phone that you have. Setting it up, as long as you know your email and password, as long as you know the email and password that you use for Healy, which before reinstalling the app, my recommendation is that you try to access the Healy Shop, our website, the Healy Shop website. Try accessing it just to confirm that you're able to log in without any issues. Those credentials you use there should be the exact same ones that you use for the Healy Advisor Analyze 2 app. So I'd simply recommend that you double check that you are able to access your account without any issues, then reinstall the app, and then simply access it again. And that way you will be using your account. Then demo mode will not be activated anymore.
Yeah. And remember when you like Henry said, if all else fails, you delete the app and reinstall it. Make sure that when you delete the app, that you turn your smart device off, right? Turn your smart device off, tablet, whatever it is, turn it off, turn it back on, and then reinstall the app. You kind of get a fresh start, kind of clears all the remnants of the old app, and now you'll log back in. But and then Jenna kind of has a question, kind of related to the login content here. Saying that is there a way that we can just sign in once the Healy website that it knows that I'm from the US and I don't have to sign in again? Well, so that's a good thing and a bad thing. Because if we sign in on one device, it does keep most of our devices. It depends on how we have things set up within the programs or within mostly within the browser. It will hold our sign-in credentials, and so you can just like put in a username and it auto-populates some of the information, and you just go ahead and sign in. Our smart devices now have facial recognition or fingerprint recognition, that kind of thing. And so it's still going to need to sign you in. We don't want to stay signed in all the time anyway, just for security purposes. But if you do get signed out and you're on the same device and you go to sign in, it will keep, if you've got it set up that way, it will keep your information and you just breeze right through the sign-in process. Healy has made it much easier now to sign in to the Healy Advisor Analyze app. Used to, have to have a master key system and all that kind of stuff. Now it's the same credentials that you log in, as Henry said, logging into your shop page. If you can do it there, you can do it in the Analyze app as well. If there's problems at the shop page, then even without being logged in, there is Harmony, which is our AI system, as well as customer support, live support during the day, weekdays, and they can help you, get back in. All right.
Yeah, there is also, you'll see on some of our sites, there's a single sign-on option, which is kind of a newer thing, but it's been rolling out across all of our different platforms. And I believe it's supposed to be by the end of the year that will be the default option across all. So no matter if you're in the shop or if you're in back office, you're in one of our apps, whatever, as long as you're logged in, you wouldn't need to log in again to the other platforms too. So yeah, that's going to continue to improve and get easier over time also, as far as being able to just have one login and not do it through each different platform that you access.
Yeah, yeah. And Jana, so he's talking about pertaining to your next portion of the question. When you log into your back off or into your shop page, yeah, there's a back office tab, but when you do have to log back into your back office. right?
So it's
Currently.
two different platforms. So you can enter the shop, and from the shop, you will be taken to the back office where you're gonna be asked to log in. Just remember, for the back office, you do need, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, but I'm pretty sure that you need your username. So that really is, of all the different platforms that we have, that's the only one that may ask you for your username instead of the email address. Password should technically be the same one.
Yeah, I think you're right. I actually have
Yeah.
never tried it with just my
Yeah. I'm
email.
pretty sure it's the username. If you don't know your username, by the way, all you have to do on the shop, so on the previous page, the one you saw dashboard, back office, orders, rewards, that icon right there where you see a drop down menu, that is your username. It should be your username right there at the top, on the top right corner. So you can just copy that and paste it on the login screen of the back office, and then just put your regular password, and you're gonna be able to log in. But yeah, as Jack said, that's definitely a big improvement we're gonna have once we're able to just sign in to everything, and sign in just once. That's definitely gonna be huge.
Yeah. Beth's got a great question. So what do I need to use to safely charge my US-purchased Healy in Europe? So here's a fun little thing that all Healys are foreign. I mean, they are, right. It's German technology, right? But the cool thing about the charging method is that's universal on the Healy. Of course, it's got the micro USB port, so that wire is consistent around the world. What's different, and then on the other end of that wire is typically a USB-C. You could have a USB-C, or you could have a USB, original USB-A. And what that plugs into is where the adaptability comes in. All right. So that particular box or adapter, it's going to put out the same voltage and amperage necessary to safely charge your Healy or your Mag Healy magnetic platform. It's going to safely do that. What you need when you go to Europe is you need an adapter to plug into European outlets. Okay, so it's a different configuration. Instead of, say, the one you've been using in the US, it's got the spade terminals that are just vertical spades. In Europe, they're round dowel type plugins. So you'll need to just get one of those that USB-A plugs into. Okay. There's all kinds of ways of adapting. I mean, they've even got adapters that will plug into the European outlet that your US box will plug into it, right? I mean, so it's pretty easy. In fact, my original Healy that I got way back when, that came from another location, had a charging block for Europe in it. So I was like, wait, they don't even plug in the US. What's going on here? No. I already knew all those variations, so it wasn't a big deal. But that's what you'll need, Beth, is just if you're going to Europe, you'll need an adapter that plugs into European outlet that then gives a USB-A ability to plug your cord in. You use the same cord that you have in the US. It just plugs into a different box. That makes sense? Hopefully. The power, here's the cool thing. I mean, other countries have slightly different variations in power. Mostly it has to do with the frequency of the power, not so much the voltage, but in some cases the voltage is higher. Those adapters that you get for that country mitigate that variance. And to be honest with you guys, Healy charges like the battery in your car. It's a DC battery in there. When you plug into the outlet of your house, that's like an AC circuit. Well, that conversion is all done for you inside the adapter that plugs in the wall. So you don't have to worry about any of that. If the USB cord will plug into it, the output will be fine. I mean, okay.
And speaking of cords, I forgot to mention this on one of the prior Tech Tip Tuesdays, but if you go to our Healy shop, in the past, it was, if you needed a replacement USB, micro USB to USB-A cable, we always kind of direct people to Amazon or your local store or whatever kind of thing, because they're so easy to get. And most of us have a lot of these available as well in our house from other devices and things that we've had in the past or maybe currently are using. But you can actually, this was added a few weeks ago, but the replacement cables are actually in there. So you see we have ones for the Obsidian edition, both the charging cable and the connection cables in black, which is pretty cool. And then we have the same thing, charging cable and connection cable available here in white too. So again, it's not something you need to buy from Healy. This isn't some proprietary cable or anything like that. But if you want the same one that came with it, for whatever reason, they are available on the shop now there too. And then the connection cables, hey, if you are some of us where you're using the white connection cables and they get dirty, you know, having a pair of black ones actually could come in handy. So
You know, so traditionally, some of you guys that may not know some of my background, I've taught martial arts for decades. And traditionally, in ancient martial arts, you know, you don't really get a black belt, right? You don't actually just have a belt that you wear forever and ever. And when you first get it, it's white, right? Clean and crisp and awesome. But as you work out and sweat and grind and do and learn and time goes by, that belt, it got its name black belt because it gets really grungy and dirty and not white anymore. So that's how you could tell the experience of a martial artist, by the color of their belt, because it was just dirty. And I've got white cables here that are actually not even, I mean, they're still working, but they're actually kind of, I don't even know what color this is anymore. It's not white, it's not quite black.
I think that cable's currently a brown belt or
It's a
yellow
brown
belt.
belt. I got a brown belt cable. I got a set of them. They still work, but you can see that it's broken right here, right? This little piece is kind of coming apart. But it's still
For veterans.
this is one of my cables, like 5 years old. Now trust me, I also have other cables that are trashed. I ripped them apart, wires sticking out. You're like, yeah, that's not working no more.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What else we got?
Ken, do you want to talk at all about your Healy Solutions series coming up actually next Tuesday, right? Next week at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Yep, next week, 7 p.m. Eastern. So I'm going to be a guest speaker on the Healy Solutions Series, and we're going to be talking about energy. We're going to be talking about kind of health, that kind of thing. You know, that series is amazing because there's specific topics that are relevant to people's life and lifestyles. There's been presentations on stress and things like that. So I'm going to be on next week. I'm super excited about that, to be able to be a guest and work with some great, incredible Healy professionals. And so our hosts will be on there. We're going to talk about this topic around energy and health. And I think that in my world, one of the most, to me, the most important thing I believe is this body's performance. This body's performance. It's doing its best based on what you are asking it to do, and that ask is not only just a physical aspect, but that ask is also you're asking it to be limited by some of our beliefs and some of our history and things that we attune to. So I really want to go into that a bit when next week. So definitely tune in, tell all your friends, join us, and let's see how we can really tune these bodies up. Let's see how we can use Healy as one of the amplifiers. I like to say that you're amplified in all aspects of your life, and let's build some coherence in these bodies. So yeah, thanks, Jake. Look for the announcement on the events page, right? It should be there. It's already there, I think.
Yeah, it's there, and I'm sure we'll send out a Telegram and Facebook our announcement too as a reminder coming up.
Yep. So yeah, so definitely join in, folks. Tell all your friends. I'd love to see you there. So thanks for the shout out. So Deb's got a question here. We got about 4 minutes left, everyone. Is Healy, Mag Healy, and Mag Healy devices considered biohacking devices? So this word biohacking is it's gone viral, right? It's crazy. And so we can look at what is biohacking, and then you answer the question, does Healy qualify? Biohacking is bio refers to the biology, the tangible, three-dimensional, what I call organic suit, the body. What is hacking its outcome? To be honest with you, everything down to your thought is a biohack. Your thought is a biohack, right? It's hacking the way your biology supports you and how this body is becomes your servant. So what's being meant more about that biohacking today is technology in terms of, you know, different methods that, and so Healy qualifies as a technology that interfaces with your biology, and therefore what? Biohacking, yes? Qualifies. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe any sort of positive change, because ultimately that's what we want to do. We want to cause positive changes in our bodies, not negative. But yeah, any kind of positive change that you can do, even if it's completely natural, in itself, it's a form of biohacking.
100%. And that Healy Solutions Series is monthly, right? So this will be is it the 4th episode coming up this month, or is it the 3rd? I think it's
I think the fourth,
Fourth?
actually. Pretty sure it's the fourth.
okay. So it's a really great thing, guys. Once a month, and it's been on a Tuesday traditionally. So
Yeah. Yeah.
awesome. All right, guys. Couple minutes. Any lightning round things? We all caught up? If you guys want to save the chat, by the way, then there are 3 little dots up there, you know, where it says Healy Tech Tip Tuesday in the header of your chat box there. 3 little dots over there on the right. Click on those, and there'll be a drop down menu that says Save Chat. Click on that at the end of our call. You'll get a file on your screen there that you can save, right? All right. I think we're good, right? Let's
I
see.
believe so. I believe so.
7 p.m. So
Yeah, 7:30 p.m.
7:30 p.m. for the Healy
Yeah.
Solutions Series.
Yeah, just in case if you guys are not sure, like anybody watching this, remember, if you forget, you can always just click on that link that I put there for the event calendar. That's really the most accurate way to always keep yourself updated when it comes to all the events that we have. So, and remember,
And there's no registration needed for this event series. You just on Tuesday next week, you just click on the link and it'll take you right to join the meeting. So,
Yeah,
and remember, you can access this link also from the Healy Shop.
yeah, keep that in mind, guys, because sometimes things change just a bit last minute or something, and but that's going to be as accurate as you can get. Maybe there's a post in your social media group or on Telegram or whatever that even that may be old because of a last minute change. But that events calendar, Healy America's events, that's going to be the way to get the most up to date. Okay. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you very much for being here today. Thank you, audience, for participating. Great questions today. Look for the recording on the YouTube page with, of course, all the hyperlinks to each question, so you can jump right to where you want and get just what you need. So, Henry, Jake, thanks, guys. You guys rock, as always.
Thank you
you
so
do
much.
too, Ken. Thank you so much. Yeah, had another great time, and
Awesome
thank you for all
call.
the great questions. And yeah, we'll see you all very soon.
All right, guys. Okay, have a great day or evening. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.